You hear that music? Okay. Supper flock. What up, man? Hopefully we don't have any echoes, so that's a good question. That's a good question. Hold on. Now they should be able to hear.
Okay.
They should be able to hear us. What's up, guys? Please let us know if we have echoes, if we have. You know how we go. You know how we do.
You know how we do, baby. This is the non-functioning podcast.
Yes. So, yeah, we'll talk about Gerald McCoy. Echo.
Echo. Uh-oh. Do you know? Is it both of us, or is it just Sonny, or is it me?
Yeah, let me know if it is.
Because it might be my mic. I don't know.
No, well, Burflock, I'm hearing McCoy's visiting Panthers. Can you, one of you guys, okay, just Sonny, am I still echoing? Because what happened was NDI source and the mic, I have them on. So that dope boy, do I still sound echoey? Hopefully not. It's gone now.
It's gone.
Perfect.
Cool.
Perfect. Yeah, I figured it out. Awesome. Okay. So if at any point audio breaks, just let me know. I'm handling this, so I cannot blame Joe Noobo today for any dysfunction.
It's all Sonny.
It's on me.
Yep.
So, but anyway, guys, what up, you guys? Welcome to the NFPodcast. My name is Sonny from szgsports.
I am Joe Noobo.
And guys, you know we are NFPodcast, non-functioning podcast, or Noobo
Right.
Football Podcast. Whatever you guys want to call us, it's fine. It's fine.
Either one is fine.
We're here to have a good time, to talk about a couple of things happening in the Ravens world, and we know, Gerald McCoy. Well, we should start with Gerald McCoy because that's what everything I see on Twitter, noobs.
That's all it's about.
Gerald McCoy. So, what is your thoughts about Gerald McCoy? Are we landing him? Is he going to the Browns? Are we going to the Panthers now? What's your thoughts?
Oh man. Well, it's a little it's a mess, right? It's a big mess. So Gerald McCoy, first of all, before I speculate on whether or not I think we're going to sign him, how about we talk about whether or not we do want to bring him in, right? Because that's also another topic that a lot of Ravens fans are like, oh, we don't need him, or some people are like, oh, we should sign him, right? Me, I want us to sign him. So, oh my God. Sorry, guys. If you hear some squeaking in the background, I'm like so embarrassed, guys. I'm so sorry. But I guess
somebody's
sometimes
having more fun than us.
Some when you're an adult, guys, sometimes you get urges, and you just gotta let loose sometimes. You know what I mean? So if you hear something in the background, that's what it is. Anyway, so I'll try to just be as loud as I can, so you guys don't hear it at all. Hopefully you don't hear it at all. But anyway. So Gerald McCoy, yes, I absolutely do want us to bring him in. Why? Because I think the Eagles did it in the past, right? That they had so many D linemen. They had, they were signing like Michael Bennett, I believe, and they had like Haloni Nada, Fletcher Cox, Timmy Jernigan. They had like just a stacked D line. And why not? Why can't we do that, man? I know we already have the positions filled on the D-line. Of course, you have Michael Pierce, you have Brandon Williams, and you have guys that are expected to step up like Chris Wormley, maybe a Gerald Willis, Willie Henry if he can stay healthy. And so I understand why people may not want us to, spend some extra money because they see it as a luxury signing, which is one of the things that I've heard a lot. But I want us to have a stacked D-line. I don't want anybody to be able to run on us. I want to be able to get interior pressure from the interior D-line. Man, I would love it if we could sign Gerald McCoy. That's how I feel about it. Sonny, I want to hear how you feel about it,
Sure.
And then we'll talk about whether or not, we think that we'll bring him in or not.
I think McCoy. Let's start with luxury. Sometimes are good. You know,
Yeah.
I'll take a luxury. I don't have many in my life, but I'll take a luxury. The whole thing with McCoy, I feel like he will fit really good in that position, which we would love to have Henry there, but we can't count on Henry. I like Henry, but he gets injured every year. He might be injured now, for all I know. McCoy can generate pressure from the inside. Look, this is how because a lot of people are like, oh, what do you think? Are we having? Are we not? Do you want him? Well, imagine in a 3rd and 8, critical position. You have Brandon Williams, a guy that commands a double team. Pierce, a guy that commands a double team. And McCoy, a guy that commands a double team in the inside. 3 guys that can suck the 5 O linemen. So now they have to keep a tight end there. They might have to keep the running back there. Okay? So now between the quarterback, the tight end, and the running back, you have 8 people to contain our 3 D linemen and our 2 rushers. Right? So now your secondary that is already really, really good is on the winning side. They have numbers against the offense. Dude, that's the mismatch you want. That is exactly what you want. Look, who is the team that we're most not afraid, but we think it's gonna be competing with us for the AFC North?
Brownies.
Yeah, the Brownies, the Clownies, right? So Baker, one thing that Baker has, and I do like Baker. This is not a banking on Baker. I think he's an excellent quarterback. Him like Drew Brees are undersized quarterback. So pressure through the middle is not good for any quarterbacks, but when they're undersized, it's even worse. So that pressure through the middle between either McCoy, Brandon Williams, or Pierce on a critical position is spectacular. Plus, now we're talking that we have 3 guys that are B pluses guys in our rotation. So that means you're always gonna have at least. I would assume they're gonna try to have 2 of them at any given point. Dude, I'll be ecstatic if we have it. Is he a luxury? Yes, because we're deep, but it's a luxury that will just get your defense that much closer to the elite level.
Mm-hmm. I agree. No, I totally agree. I know people don't really want to spend that much money, and what I found interesting is that Steve, the Orioles owner, as if you saw that,
I saw
Jeff
that.
Zerbiak. If you guys are on Ravens Twitter, then you have to follow Jeff Zerbiak. But he did a little bit of a flub, which he doesn't usually do, and he said that Steve Biscotti was the Orioles owner, which was pretty funny to me. But anyway, so yeah, Steve, he said something like, we're not really rushing to go and spend the rest of our cap space, so it makes some sense that maybe if Gerald McCoy really does want a big payday, then I definitely could see him signing either with the Browns or the Panthers. Now, I'll be ecstatic if the Ravens do find a way to sign him. I would absolutely love it. I do think Gerald McCoy, it seems like the vibe that I'm getting, he does want to sign with us. However, I think he definitely wants to talk with his family and just figure everything out. And I guess he wants to visit the Panthers still, what I'm hearing, what I saw on Twitter. And you got to think about it, man, because this player has never been a free agent in the NFL ever, right? Ever since he started, ever since he got drafted by the Bucks. He's been with the Bucks his entire career. So maybe this guy wants to, just check out what's out there. See, okay, what is this team offering? What does this team have to offer? He's shopping around, I think. So I'm not necessarily worried that he left Baltimore without a deal. I think if he really wants to play with us, he's going to sign with us. But if the Panthers end up signing him, I would be happy with that too, because as long as he doesn't go to the Browns, I'm happy with it. Either way, whatever happens, I don't want to see him on the Browns because that's just another challenge. That's another piece. But again, it is what it is. That just makes them a tougher team, and it'll be even better when we beat them. So
I will agree that if the Browns sign him, that defensive depth in the inside is scary, and that's their biggest question mark on the O line. The other thing is, what I read online was that when McCoy won, it was create a bidding war for him. Well, I don't think the Ravens are gonna be up for a bidding war. I think the Ravens might get him $10 million per year. maybe a 2-year 20 with incentives that they can roll some cap for next year where they're gonna have way more cap room. Um, but the Brownies can outbid us. The Panthers is not necessarily a contender, especially with Cam Newton's health. But he might just want to go there to stick it to the Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm.
I think the other thing that's hurting his ego is Ndamukong Suh went to the Buccaneers. Ndamukong Suh was the guy that got drafted before him. And Ndamukong Suh, I thought he got like a 12 mil per year, 1 year, 12 million. So I think he wants at least what Ndamukong got. I don't think the Ravens want to give him that much. I don't know about the Brownies. I'm assuming the Brownies didn't either because that's why he's still visiting with other teams.
Well, the Browns are just throwing their money into the fire, man. They're, they had the cap, and now, it's kind of they're signing everybody. So I'm sure they wouldn't mind giving $12 million to Gerald McCoy, but I don't know. We'll see what happens.
So let me do a quick shout out here to Jay Will. What up, man? Thanks for coming. That dope boy Burflock. Let me see. Eldrick Stone, Sean Henderson, Ashton Eckhart. Hopefully I didn't botch your name, bro. Burflock. I think that dope boy, if I haven't mentioned him before. Donovan. Samuel, what's up, man? Thanks for joining. Raven 76 B more. Thanks for coming. Craving some Ravens. And that's it. So a couple of the comments that I see here.
The usual suspects.
Yeah, and we appreciate you guys coming.
Oh yeah. Man. You guys already know. You guys already know how much we appreciate you.
So Donovan is saying pluses and minuses for McCoy. I think we talk about the pluses.
Yeah.
The minuses will be that if you sign McCoy, basically you're taking that cap room that you have and you're eating that mostly with him.
Right.
And then if a good player in a position of need opens, example, a middle linebacker, or is what I would think, then you don't have the money to sign him, or you don't have the cap space to sign him. That will be the biggest problem with McCoy. Other than that, there's no really minus. Your depth improves under the tackle position, under the lineman position. You have a Pro Bowler caliber player. That he was used to being the single out in that D lineman, and now in Baltimore, he can't be singled out because of the depth, because of the players we have here. He will be fresh playing every game. Because when he was in Tampa, all the bulk was on him. Every scheme in that O-line, when you were playing the Buccaneers, you were watching for him. And here, he wouldn't get that. So my only minus is the eating of the cap, Donovan. And with that, maybe not signing a player in the future when people start getting cut. What's your thoughts, Snoop?
No, yeah, I mean, pretty much. And also, he is a little bit, he's not a young spring chicken anymore. He is 31, if I'm not mistaken. So that's another argument that I see a lot of people make is that, he's older. So are you really going to spend all this money on him because he's older? Even though he is older, I don't think that's, that he's really. It's not like he's not doing anything, in the league. He's still got like 6 sacks last year, if I'm not mistaken, from the interior. So he's still doing things, man. So. And it was funny because there was something that somebody said, I think it was on Twitter, and they said, just think about it, Gerald McCoy, right? Are you going to want to go play with the Browns where you already played against Lamar Jackson and he made you look foolish and the whole Bucs defense, and you're going to do the same thing if you're playing on the Browns defense, or would you rather have Lamar Jackson on your side and making the other team look foolish? I thought that was a pretty good point, but yeah.
Well, the other point that I will say with Gerald McCoy is he got 6 sacks, you said, last year, around that. And a Tampa team that has a sketchy secondary and the D-line is good, not great.
Yeah.
And here he will come to a better D-line, so that helps for his numbers. And way better secondary.
Oh, yeah.
So, and the secondary helps for the quarterback to hold that ball. So he has the potential to elevate his numbers, and he just wants to come here in a 1-year prove me deal and a really good defense, elevate his numbers, and next year go find another place. I'll take it. Yeah. I'll take it. So I think it's all pluses. Well, and then segueing from him, I want to talk also before we hit the OTAs about our boy Haloti Ngata.
Yes, absolutely.
Haloti Nada, one of my favorite Ravens of all time.
Hmm.
Big boy,
Yep.
but the dude was agile. The dude, watching the highlights, I mean, it's impressive how at a 300 something plus D tackle slash nose tackle move. The guy, like, I love Pierce and I love B Will, but they're not even close to what Haloti Nada was. Um, the interceptions, just the smarts of every
Mm.
time he bat the ball, look for it. The ability to pressure the quarterback from the inside, the ability to stop the run, the ability to punch Big Ben and break his nose. All
Mm,
those
man.
stuff. I love Haloti Nada. Can't wait. I need to figure out what game he's gonna be in the Ring of Honor to see if I can go to that game. To a certain extent, Brian Billick. But for me, Billick, he was a good coach.
Yeah.
I guess that he wasn't my favorite coach because he was supposed to be this offensive guru, and then with
Mm.
the Ravens, that never happened. But Haloti
Yeah.
Nada, a beast of a player. I was happy. Hopefully, he could convince McCoy that he look. I got all this accolade playing in Baltimore. They're good to their D tackle. But any thoughts on Haloti?
Yeah, and also to kind of add to what you said there, um, pretty much anybody that plays for the Ravens, even later on in their career, you don't really see many people, if any. I don't even recall any players that have said, "Oh my God, I hated my time in Baltimore." Right? Like it was terrible. You never hear that. You have players like Steve Smith Sr., who, even though his time with us was short, he's still one of my favorite Ravens that ever played for us, just because of it. It just felt like he felt like he belonged there, and it felt like the team just loved him there, and just the organization. What I think the Ravens are one of the best organizations in football and maybe even in sports. Period, just because of, I mean, the front office is always they know what they're doing, and even if we don't always make the playoffs, but at least we're still fighting for it, man. Like even if we don't have the best team, we're always going to come down to the wire. We're still going to be in it in week 16. I mean week 17. So, I mean, this is a good organization, man. So Gerald McCoy, if he really wants to be appreciated and to really come to a team that is you know, you get what I'm saying. But anyway, but yeah, back to Haloti Nana. This dude was a freaking monster, dude. And not only did he break Big Ben's nose, he also ended RG3's career pretty much. Well, not ended his career, but I mean, he kind of he broke his leg, right? Pretty much. So that just totally threw his career off the rails. And now it's funny because he's on the Ravens now and he's the backup quarterback. So.
And the funny part, just to add to that play,
Mhm.
how Lodi actually chased. He was in the D lineman position, playing the tackle as RG3 broke left. He
Yeah.
started running towards the middle, and when he saw RG3 breaking near, that he had the angle, he attacked RG3. Hell of a
Hmm.
play, hell of a hustle. Again, 350, and be able to hustle against RG3 was very very fast back then.
Yeah.
Spectacular.
Man, Elodie was just a freaking beast, dude. Like, it was an honor to get to be able to watch him play. He was a Raven, just through and through, with the way he played hard every single play. And he was just tough, man. Like, you don't really see these guys that are just tough and strong. He was so powerful, dude. It was crazy, man. It was an honor to watch him play. Definitely one of the all-time greats, the all-time Ravens. Um, I mean, he's going to be missed for sure, and I'm glad that he's. Of course, first of all, I'm glad he's retiring a Raven because I think it just makes the most sense. I know he's been on multiple teams, but I don't feel like he was ever really. It didn't really feel like he was on. He was whatever the teams he was on. He was never a Lion to me. He was never an Eagle to me. He was always a Raven, and you know his play is still missed to this day, man. We don't. I mean, we have some good D linemen, of course, but they don't even come close to what Haloti Nada was, man.
Agreed.
It's tough to be a player like Nada was, for sure.
I mean, for all the talk that we have about Jerry McCoy, McCoy and Nada are very similar as a pure D tackle, but what and it could have been the scheme. This is not a bad take on McCoy, but the ability that Nada had to bat those balls, to always
Hmm.
look for the ball, to pressure and get fumble, to hustle and chase people. I mean, Haloti was a beast, and I'm happy for him. Like I said, hopefully the day they put him in the Ring of Honor, I can swing by that day to the stadium. It will be awesome. It will be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
OTAs,
Let's
and
talk OTAs, man.
let me also throw the Browns fans. Oh my
Mm.
God! And you guys know on Monday I had a Browns fan from behind enemy lines,
Mm.
but Browns fans. I had a guy that was saying on Twitter that even with McCoy, we were a third place team because we had holes at quarterback, we had holes at
Oh
wide
my God.
receiver, we had holes at cornerback, and I think he said edge, which I was like, okay, dude. My only response was like, okay, I'll give it to you. We have all those holes. I'll take all those holes before the hole you have in your trophy case. That was my answer to him.
There you go.
So, but man, so I just wanted to throw out there because as Browns fans, this is why they're the clowns. Anyway,
Dude, Twitter is something else, man. If you guys are on Twitter, you guys already know what it is, man. Just football fans in general, man, especially. That's why I don't go on Facebook because Facebook, I think, if possible, is worse than Twitter, if even possible. I mean, my God, dude. Some football fans, some of their takes, like the other day, I posted it on Twitter. I saw somebody said that Joe Flacco was the worst quarterback the NFL has ever seen.
I saw that. I saw your post.
Are you serious? Are you
That
serious? Are
we,
you, like, come on.
I don't know, man. I think those are people looking for clickbait to trigger people, because let's be honest. That dude either hasn't even watched because Joe Flacco's the best quarterback in Ravens history.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
worst let's say this is when I get people like that, I'm like, let me take your comment as face value. Let's say he's the worst quarterback of all 32 teams.
Hmm.
But he wasn't the worst quarterback in Ravens history, so just right there your argument is debunked. So
Well, let's just say it like this. He's good enough to start for an NFL team. He's
of
still
course,
starting for an
of
NFL team.
course.
So, how is he possible? How that's not even possible that he's the worst quarterback the NFL has ever seen. If he's been starting for us for what? How long did he start for us? Almost like 10 years, 11 years?
Yeah, 10 or
So how
11.
is
Yeah.
he? It makes no sense, dude. Like those types of comments, when I see them, I just want to like go and like be able to teleport to them and just slap them in the face because they're idiots, dude. And I know they're just saying it to get people pissed off, but
Yeah.
at the same time, like you can't be an idiot, dude. Like how do you even put your shoes on? Like what's wrong with you, dude?
I know, man.
Seriously.
I know. So, yeah, OTAs. Let's not
Yes.
digress.
Okay.
Okay. So, we start OTAs with whoever this it was a Maryland account. They had a video of Lamar throwing a little high and
Mm.
a little
Yeah.
front
Hmm.
to I believe it was Chris Moore.
I think so. Yeah.
Either Chris Moore or Seth Roberts. You know,
Hmm.
they're
The
basically the
twins.
same. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
basically the same player.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Look at this open receiver. This guy can throw." I can't quote him. I don't have his quote, but it was on those lines. And I was like, "Okay, so you're saying that a quarterback? Let's start with this. A quarterback has never missed an open receiver in a practice.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, I seen Aaron Rodgers videos missing throws. I seen,
Hmm.
and this is not saying that Lamar's in his level. I'm just saying, talking about the elite quarterbacks missing throws. Second, that ball went through the hands of the receiver. Yes, it was
Hmm.
a little high. Yes, it was a little to the front, but it went through the receiver's hands. That ball should
Yeah.
have been caught.
It wasn't even a bad throw. Like honestly, yeah, it was a little high, but I still think it was catchable. You
It was
know.
catchable.
So
Uh,
I don't even know why. Just Twitter, man.
no, and
It's
then my
crazy.
third thing was
Hmm.
that's the ball I want him to throw in the game. When you
Yeah.
have everybody in the box, I want him to throw high in the front because the
Hmm.
corner is behind
Yeah.
or it's gonna be playing tight. When you're hitting that slant, the window's gonna be small. You throw high and up front. Of
Yeah.
course, that if the corner tries to make a play and he misses, this isn't a play where the box is filled with 8. That guy's gonna be gone.
Yeah.
That's the throw you want, and that's the throw that Lamar wasn't making. In the year, Lamar was throwing behind the receivers on those throws.
And very low as well.
And low.
Yeah.
So that's exactly. If anything, I was like, dude, this is encouraging to me.
Yeah.
I want him to just slam, throw high in front, throw high in
Yes.
front.
Yes.
Because unless you have a safety over the top, that's the throw you need to make.
Honestly, I'd rather have him throw a little bit high than throw to the feet like he was last year. You know, I think it's so much better, honestly, because if you have guys that have hops that can jump up in the air and just make those catches in the game, then throwing high is so much better than throwing to the feet that Lamar. I mean, that's what he was doing. But one thing I will say about Lamar, from the few clips that I did see from OTAs and practice and everything, you got to admit that his mechanics look so much better than they did last year. You know, they could still use some work, of course, but the things that I saw, his mechanics, his footwork definitely looked improved. His release, I really liked his release. I know people were talking about, is that a duck? Like throwing ducks, whatever. But I mean, I'm not too worried about that, honestly. As long as it gets to the receiver, that's all I care about. So just he was looking really good, man. I'm really liking the improvements that I'm seeing from Lamar, no doubt.
What I want to see from Lamar is once we go into like a gameplay situation is so there's a couple of things I don't like about Lamar. For those of you that haven't followed me for a while, hated that he threw to the feet, as Noobo was saying. He will throw wide open receivers to their feet. That's horrible. Second, missing an open receiver. Just somebody in a curl sitting there. Not somebody on the move. Throwing behind receivers.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't like that. And fourth, for some reason, when he was scrambling in the pocket, fumbling the ball.
Right.
Those 4 things I need him to clean up. All correctable. But those 4 things are the ones that he hopefully work, and we know he was putting the work, which is what we want. We wanted him to put the work, and he has been putting the work. So obviously in training camp as of right now, the good thing is now they for OTAs, I'm saying they let them put 11 on 11, no pads, but 11 on 11. So but those are not disclosed to the media as far as I know. So we don't see that portion. But you know, the other thing I like Noobo is he wasn't content. He was like, well, I wasn't great.
Like, I have to get better.
Yeah, and that's what you want. People were like, oh, we heard you were doing better. You were doing better with this. You were doing better with that. Mechanics, blah. And his answer was like, nah, I didn't have the best of practice. I need to be better. Dude, that's what I want. Don't be complacent. Exactly. Don't be always strive for better. And Lamar is looking to strive for better.
Yeah, it's not like he's coming out and being like, "Oh, I was pretty good." Nah, like he's really, what I love about him is that he's probably his own toughest critic. You know, he gets a lot of criticism, but what I love every single time I've heard Lamar talk, you know, about his play or about how he throws the ball, he's always saying, "You know what? I need to get better. I need to work on that," which is awesome. And I love to see that attitude from him. I mean, it's great to see. It really is.
So the other thing that's coming out of OTAs that we keep hearing is Chip's boy.
Yeah, well, there was something I wanted to add about Lamar. Oh my God, I'm totally forgetting. It might have been something about the fumbles. Oh God.
So let me go with some comments. So hopefully you remember.
Yeah, I'll try to remember.
And so Eldrick Stone said, no wait. So Raven 76. More said Lamar will be dangerous QB, very scary to offense. Yeah, I mean, he is a different cat. How can you plan for him? It's very hard to plan for him. Eldrick Stone says Peyton Manning threw some of the ugliest balls ever, and he was pretty solid. I think he threw a bad ball, Peyton Manning did, more at the end of his career. And what helped him was he had a good defense back then. Let me see. Lamar got to talk that ball. Yes. But the problem, Craven, is he needs to tuck that ball when he's running. But once he starts running, he does tuck the ball. My problem is when he's moving in the pocket, he flings that ball too low, right? But he needs to grab it. The thing is, he's trying to move, but still have the ball holding it to throw a tight spiral.
Yeah.
He needs to be careful because that's when he starts losing the ball. Once
Right.
he decides to run, he usually tucks that ball. So once he becomes a runner, usually I don't remember fumbling from him. It's more when he moves in the pocket. If you see a lot of those fumbles in the pocket, just the ball just falls behind him, and he has been able to recover a lot of them because it hasn't been like somebody has hit him.
Right. And he just
loses the ball.
Right.
Let's see. That Dope Boy says if Lamar improves his accuracy and ball security, he'll be alright. I think he'll be more than alright. I think he'll be. And then I might get some criticism for saying this. He'll be a top 10 quarterback. If he improves his accuracy, because that was his problem, and he has a good arm. If he improves his accuracy and his ball security, dude, the thing with Lamar is because of his legs and because of this running game, he's always gonna have open receivers.
Yeah.
Receivers are always gonna have a mismatch with the defender.
See, the thing with Lamar, man, and people that don't watch Ravens games, and there's plenty of those fans out there that just saw the Chargers playoff game, and that's all they saw from Lamar Jackson, and that's the whole. They're like, oh, he's a terrible quarterback because that's all he can do, right? So, if you watched, and we watched every single snap that Lamar took because we're Ravens fans, to the day we die. So, you could let me know if you agree with this statement, Sonny. But there was times. And I've said this in a video previously before, and it's not all the time, of course, because he would fumble and have all these issues, but there was times that Lamar Jackson was the best player on the field. Do you agree with me?
No doubt. You know what Lamar was last year? He was a magician.
Yeah.
He would create players out of nowhere. There was no play, and he will create one. Not only because he will run up the field. For example, I remember this play. He was rolling right, because the pocket collapsed and he escaped. I don't even know how. And then he rolled right, and the linebacker was there. He didn't know what to do, and finally he decided to. And this was like a 3rd and 20 or something very long. And the linebacker, which was on Dixon, I believe, or Buck Allen, decides to go with Lamar because Dixon was like 4 yards in or 5 yards in. When he crushed to Lamar just dumped it.
Yep.
I think it was Dixon or the running back just ran because there was nobody in sight all the way for a first down.
Mm-hmm.
That play was created by Lamar. The play that also, this was Dixon in the playoffs, Lamar kept scrambling in the pocket.
Against Derwin James, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Threw it just over the safety, James.
Yeah.
To our Butterball.
Those Butterball. That anybody else, that would have been a touchdown, man. Oh,
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
But anyway, those types of plays, man, you see like Patrick Mahomes make. And I'm not comparing him to Patrick Mahomes at all, but I'm just saying the types of plays that Lamar makes. When you see a special football player, you just can't explain it. They just make these plays. Baker Mayfield does it. Patrick Mahomes does it. Aaron Rodgers does it. They just make these plays that you're like, how did that even happen? Like, what the hell? That doesn't make any sense. Lamar has that same aspect to his game. Of course, he needs to be more consistent about it and be just, work on a lot of things. But he just has something in him, man. And I love to see those things every time.
I agree. So, here for Flock TV, Wait. Let me see. Craven's saying Ravens been on a Chris Moore. So we're gonna talk about Chris Moore very shortly. Flock TV says, I think we forget how inaccurate Joe Flacco was, aka Checkdown King.
Yeah.
So Flacco was inaccurate, but Flacco was able to hit more consistently the people that Lamar wasn't hitting.
Right.
The thing was, those people weren't as open with Flacco.
Yeah.
Because there was no threat of Flacco running.
Yep.
Which Lamar has the ability, just because the defense is so concerned on him and the running game, to have those open receivers. Again, goes back to my point. If, and I keep saying this number, if Lamar gets 25% better on accuracy, dude is going to be deadly. Because if he can hit that Willie Snead 6-7 yard intermediate pass, right? Because Snead was open a lot last year.
Yeah.
If he can hit Andrews,
Yep.
an intermediate play, so the defense are going to be like, whoa, we need to push back a little bit. And then our running game is going to be, oh, here's 3 yards, here's 4 yards, here's 5 yards, here's 2 yards, pounding, grinding it. And they're like, we need to push in again. And now they're going to be pushing in, but only watching the intermediate. That's when they start sleeping. That's when you hit Hollywood over the top.
Yeah, true.
So if he gets consistent or accurate, 25% more than last year. And I'm not saying 25 in percentage point, because I think he was near 60, and that would put him 85. I'm not saying 85. I'm just saying on an open receiver, be more consistent, right?
Right.
That's going to be deadly. That is going to be deadly.
Absolutely.
Let me see here. So, Wolfgang Z. What up, man? Shout out to you. Thanks for coming. Literally, Lamar proved himself against the Chargers in the non-playoff game. Lamar still has a lot of room to grow, but our season relies on our growth. And this is something that also, I want you to chime in on this. People forget that he was a rookie last year.
Yeah.
Is he a 10-year vet?
That's what people make to seem it out like, right? Like, it's funny because I saw a comment earlier today. I'm pretty sure it was on Twitter as well. Someone's like, the Chargers showed the league how to handle Lamar Jackson, so he's figured out. No, but he's not going to be able to beat anybody else now. Like, are you serious, bro? Like, he literally stepped in midway through the season, and he had to they had to make a makeshift offense for this guy. What you need to just be like? What if people just called Jared Goff a bust after his first year? His rookie year was terrible, and I always bring that up. And now look. He took him to the Super Bowl. I mean, you can say it was Sean McVay or whatever, but that's a whole other topic for another day. But I'm just saying, give him a chance, man. I always like to say you got to give a quarterback at least 3-4 years to really see what he can bring to the team. That's my opinion. So.
And if you go check, and I'm trying to pull these stats here. If you check the quarterbacks, if Mayfield was spectacular, and maybe that's the problem. People are comparing him to Mayfield.
Yeah.
But Darnold, passing-wise, was very... I mean, I would say Lamar was probably a little bit, of all of them, the least accurate on open receivers. But overall, if you tell me Lamar was better than Darnold last year, also Lamar had a better team with the Darnold, and just to being fair, better than Josh Allen. Again, also, we had a better team than them, but he was way better than Rosen, but that team was just utterly trash. So if you take 5 quarterbacks and Lamar was the last pick, other than Baker Mayfield, you have an argument Lamar was the second best quarterback in that class last year. Yeah, we had a better team, but go ahead.
I think he was the best because he took us to the playoffs. And no other rookie quarterback can say that. Yes, Baker Mayfield statistically and on the field did have the best year, of course, if you want to look at it that way. But if you're talking about team success, Lamar Jackson, no doubt. That's what it's all about, baby. It's about team. It's about winning. And you know what Lamar Jackson does? He wins. I don't know what it is, but like I said earlier on when I was talking about Lamar and, with the Patrick Mahomes and everything, he has this winning mentality that he wants to win every single game, and he just does not give up. So that's something I would rather have that than have Darnold that showed some potential, but you only win 5 games, 6 games.
Yeah.
That's just me, though.
So, in the Browns guy that I had Monday, he brought the whole Chargers. So, we had tape. The Chargers prove it, baby.
Yeah.
They had tape. And I was like, tell me your secondary, how it compares to the Chargers.
Yeah,
because the
true.
Chargers defense is a really legit defense. The Chargers defense, in my opinion, not as good as the Ravens, but not that far behind. And secondary-wise, they're really good, and they're deep. So I told him, can you give me your corners, your Eldrin James? Can you give me that secondary that can be fast and contain Lamar? You can, right? Well, I said to the guys, no. I mean, the reality is Not many teams have that. Not many teams have
The
the
Browns don't
ability.
have the safeties. The
No,
thing that the Chargers were doing was they had all DBs pretty much. They didn't even have a single linebacker on the field,
they don't
so
have
they
the
could match the
safeties.
speed.
They don't have the
They don't have
safety.
that.
They don't have the
They do not have.
corners either. They don't
No.
have enough corners. Look, yes, and I gave the Browns this. Denson Ward probably can contain Hollywood.
Hmm.
Yeah, okay. Hollywood against the Browns might not do much because Denzel Ward. But tell me, your other corner, can they contain anybody? Can they be good in the running game? Can Gritty Williams, as he doesn't like to tackle, and then the Browns like to say to me for some reason, oh, well, Primetime didn't like to tackle. I was like, I didn't know Gritty Williams was Primetime. I didn't know we have a Hall of
Oh
Famer first
God.
ballot there. Come on,
That's
man.
what people always like to say when you say a corner can't tackle, right? They're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, well, Primetime didn't tackle." Oh, okay, so yeah, he's as good as Primetime. Give me a break.
Yeah,
Give me
come
a
on.
break.
So Wolfgang C says, for having drop tree, Lamar made the difference. I laughed when I read that comment.
Yeah.
Um, and then Joel Sessions said that um, the Chargers game was lost because of the coaching staff. I do think Marty did it when he was seeing the failures of the offense didn't shift it, and he
Yeah.
should have. I was in that game. I was frustrating, and
Absolutely.
people weren't necessarily. So the misconception of booing, right? I hated the fact the fans were booing, but I think the people were booing more because either if you weren't changing the offense with Lamar because you didn't trust him, this is more with Marty, then you should have put Flacco.
Hmm.
Now, in theory, what should have happened was not necessarily Flacco coming in, was shift the offense to a more passing game. The passing was there. Let Lamar throw. You weren't running the ball.
Yeah.
So, I don't disagree with you, Joel Sessions. Um, damn, I'm so behind comments here, but
It's okay.
have y'all heard about Gerald McCoy? Yes, Joel. So we talked about that earlier, so you can rewind this. We
Yeah.
spent a good portion of it. Johnny Williams said, "How y'all still thinking about our pass rush? We stack on D line and outside linebacker." So okay, I mean that's a good segue, and we need to talk about Chris Moore at some point. But
Yeah.
what do you think? Where's your stand on the pass rushing?
Okay, so the pass rush. I've talked a lot about this, guys. So I think people. I think people are expecting. The vibe I'm getting is that people are thinking that Jalen Ferguson is going to step in and just become a beast and be the starter on the other side opposite Judon. I honestly don't think that's going to happen. I'm sorry. I do like Ferguson. I like some things he does, but I just think he has a lot to work on still. I don't think he's going to be the starter. I do like that we added Pernell McPhee and Shane Ray, just for the added depth. If they do become something, then hey, they'll be the starters opposite side of Judon, right? So that'll be great. Even though McPhee is older and we don't know if he even has anything left in the tank. He's still like an 80 overall on Madden, so I don't even know if he's that good. He's probably like a 71 now, but anyway, so a Shane Ray, again, we've talked about him a little bit. Cheap deal if he becomes something, if he can come get back to form in 2016. It was shout out to Coach Evans from Sip2 Tally Films. I don't know if he's in here, but he did a little film study on Shane Ray, and he was talking about that his 2016 tape was just awesome. So if we can get him back to that form, then I think absolutely Shane Ray will be starting opposite Judon. If not, you have young guys like Tim Williams, Tyus Bowser, still not really haven't shown much. The few times they've been on the field, they've showed some flashes. But I think the question is, who do we think is going to step up, right? I think it's tough, man. It's tough because we have a bunch of guys that are. You just never know. I think it's whoever's the hungriest. And I think Tim Williams might be that guy. I think Tim Williams is going to have a pretty big year. That's if the coaching staff gives him the opportunity, because we saw last year for some reason, I don't know, he was in Harbaugh's doghouse or something and he just wasn't getting the snaps. But, I think if they give him the opportunity, I just have this feeling that Tim Williams is going to be the guy to step up. So I'm not super worried about the pass rush because we got a lot of good guys, a lot of young guys. But the one person that really, really needs to step up, no doubt, is Matt Judon. He needs to be better. Um, yeah, I know he wants the money. But the thing with Matt Judon, he's expected to be the guy, right? He's expected to be, okay, you're going to be the guy that steps in, the man, the pass rushing man. You need to be the leader for this pass rush. So he needs to prove himself. He still has these issues with his dumb penalties, all these stupid things that he does every now and again, just stupid moves. If he can improve those things and get better as a pass rusher, then I think we'll be all right.
So I think, in my opinion, I still don't know if Ferguson can be an outside linebacker, to be honest, guys. And I said this before. I think he might be more suited for a 3-4 DN. I don't know if he can play. I think he excels when he has his hand to the dirt. Now, Judon came being the same way, and he has been able to learn. But what I'm saying that, remember Judon's first year, he flashed, but he also was inactive a lot because neither of them could play special teams. And if you cannot be versatile, you're a one-trick pony. I will bin Tim Williams similar. I don't know if Tim Williams, I haven't seen him playing as an outside backer. So I think Judon obviously is their number one backer, outside backer. And then I will say Bowser and Ray competing for the number 2.
See, I think Bowser has so much potential, man. It's just a matter of if he's going to get the opportunity and the snaps, because this guy is an athletic freak, man. If you saw his tape at Houston, I was really excited when we drafted him because I thought he was going to become something. But, unfortunately, so far, the few times he's been on the field, he's done some good things. He has an interception. I think he got like 3 sacks his rookie year, very few snaps. I would love to see Bowser step up, no doubt. And if he does, that could be dangerous because I do think he is more suited as a 3-4 outside linebacker. So
yeah, and I think they're going to give him the opportunity, former second round. And sucks not being there, so that's Snaps and Z. And I always say pass rushers for the Ravens thrive more in that year 3. So Judon year 2 and 3. But Z year 3, I felt like that's when he took that step up, and obviously Suggs was always good. But that's my hope that he can take that position in Ray. I like Ray, and again, shout out to Coach Evan. I think his video was excellent, and he just came in into the chatting room.
Shout out to Coach Evans, y'all.
If you guys haven't checked his channel, go check it out. He breaks film.
Please do.
Excellent. Shout out Coach. We love Coach Evan here, but. So I think those, for whoever was asking, those 3 are my main outside linebackers, with Timmy Williams being the 4th guy. I also think McPhee will be kicking the inside. So if we don't bring McCoy, I expect having if McPhee makes the team to be more in that 3-4 DN. If you remember him in the Baltimore, he was outside and inside, but he, like Smith, did a lot of his damage from the inside more than from the outside.
Right.
So that's what I would expect. And then somebody here asked or said, and the comments are flying, but the Bowser, maybe to move him in the inside, and if not, we sign Monty Te'o. So I don't know your thoughts. I don't want to move Bowser to the inside. I've seen that film before, and it didn't work out. I want to let him fail in an outside linebacker position before. And this will be his year, right? This is the year that he will get snapped. Monty Te'o, on the other hand, I can dig that sign. Monty Te'o is a thumper. And somebody tweeted this out, the grades for cover linebackers. And Patrick Owusu was there in the top 5. Mostly was like 7th. And Monty Te'o was like 4th. Which I was surprised about that.
Interesting.
But if he's gonna be our like backup middle linebacker to be part of the rotation, I think that would be a great sign. And cheap too. So what's your
Well,
thoughts?
to be honest with you, because there was something else Steve Biscotti said today. He said that we're happy with our inside linebackers. He said so. I agree, but again, the depth is really bad. So the thing that I don't think we're gonna sign a middle linebacker unless one of the guys gets hurt. Then I could see us maybe signing a Manti Te'o or whoever else is out there. For sure, I could see that happening. But I think if the guys stay healthy all year, which, fingers crossed, knock on wood, everything, then I think we're going to stick with what we got, honestly. I think the team is happy with it, the coaches are happy with it. So,
But
that's what
I think what Steve Bisciotti means is we're happy with the guys as starters, and I
Mhm.
agree. We don't need to bring at this point. We don't need to bring any middle linebacker to be a starter. The
Yeah,
two we have will be the starter. Manti Te'o will be more depth, and he will
sure.
be a cheap depth. So it's nothing that you're gonna break the bank. Versus, obviously, if we get McCoy, you're talking about an investment.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's segue to Chris Moore. So
Okay.
Chris Moore is the hype train. It's the Hakeem hype train has become the Chris Moore's hype train.
Oh, God.
And all I hear and Chips is in that bandwagon. Like, oh my God, Chris Moore here, Chris Moore there. And to be honest, guys, I'm expecting Chris Moore to have a good camp. Fourth year in the league. He should be comfortable in the Ravens locker room. And the wide
Hmm.
receiving core, we talking about Snead, should be excelling in training camp. Moore, they're the two veterans that have been the longest in this team. Because after that, you go with Seth Roberts. He's been here for a cup of tea. And then the rookies. Am I missing any receivers? No. Right, the rookies and second year guys, right? Lastly, Jaleel Scott and the rookies.
Right. Well,
So
and the undrafted guys, too.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that my point is, well, yeah. So avoided Joe.
Oh, God.
The guy. I can't pronounce his last name, but him is the other. He's in year 3. So in theory, we have Snead, 5th year. I think he's in the league. Moore with the 4th year in the league, and then Adebayo, 3rd year in the league, and they're seconds and first. So Moore should be feeling more comfortable. He should be ahead of everybody.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
they changed the offense a little bit, but still same locker room. He should be feeling, he should be ready to go. So I'm not surprised that he's thriving. Also, he needs to show everybody else to the same thing as Judon to get paid. He's
Yeah,
trying to
exactly.
right. So this is his year. Now, my point with Chris Moore has always been, and people are like, oh, he doesn't get the snap, blah blah blah. But as you will say with Bowser, and I actually think when Bowser gets the snap, he has excelled more than what Chris Moore has gotten his snap. Every
Hmm.
play that I remember from Chris Moore, -1 on the offensive side, is on special teams. The
Yeah,
rest of the
that's true.
time, last year, which is sad, I remember from Chris Moore, that pass that Lamar made, that was a little bit interference, yes, but the guy wasn't like holding him
Oh, my
back.
God. Yeah.
That should have been a catch. It was a
See,
floater. It should have been a catch. He didn't attack the ball.
I think any other receiver aside from Michael Crabtree would have caught that ball, honestly. Um, Chris Moore, the thing with him, man, is that you're right. You made a good point that he should absolutely be ahead of everybody, right? He should be. Like, that should just be expected of him because he's coming into what? What is this, his third or fourth year?
Fourth year.
So, fourth year. So he should. You're right. He should be ahead of everybody, right? And I think what we're going to see from Chris Moore, almost tempted to say that he might get the starting job at wide receiver too, just because I think that the coaches, for some reason, and I mean, it's not that I hate Chris Moore, I just there's some plays, man, that he's made some like incredible circus catches that you're like, oh my god, how did he catch that ball? But then the routine stuff, man, he'll either cause an interception. He did that one time against the Bengals. I remember that very clearly. And then, he'll just drop routine passes. So there's certain things that he just needs to be more consistent about. So if they truly are going to give him wide receiver 2 snaps, which I might expect at the beginning of the year, then he really, really needs to step up, man. And this is the time to step up because, like you said, it's his contract year, and he should be the guy, right?
Yeah, the worst thing that can happen for Chris Moore is he's basically your number one outside receiver. Because Snead is more in the slot guy.
Yeah.
Because at that point, you're getting the best corner from the other side, and yeah, I don't think he's good enough. If you're talking about third corner, yeah, he can probably be that third corner, but not the first corner, not a consistent basis. Again, I don't want to make this let's hate on Chris Moore parade.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that the hype train that I'm seeing on Chris Moore, I'm like, why?
Yeah.
He hasn't proven anything, and when he's on the field, he hasn't. Okay, so the argument is he gets very few chances. Okay, you're right, but when he gets the chances, I don't think he has taken advantage of him.
I agree.
So we'll see. He should be ahead of the curve of all these receivers minus Need. If he gets beat by Boykins, if he gets beat,
that's something to watch for sure because I think a lot of people are just kind of penciling in Miles Boykin as our starting number 2. Honestly, I don't think so. I hope so. I hope he does, become a beast for us. I would love that. But I think Chris Moore is above him right now. Absolutely.
And he should be. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Again, he should be. So, and that's what I was gonna say. If Boykins beats him, if for some reason Seth Roberts beats him, if either Lassie or Jaleel Scott beats him, he needs to be cut.
Yeah.
And the only thing that might save him is he's good in special teams. But none of those guys should beat him. And I would say Snead will beat him, but Snead and him play 2 different positions. Versus like Boykins can play outside, Hollywood can play outside, Seth Roberts can play outside, or Lastly will play outside. So if any of those guys beat him, then it's bad for Chris Moore. It doesn't look good. This is his year. This is his opportunity. It's the same thing if for some reason Ferguson beats Bowser or beats Tim Williams or not necessarily the 1-year guys, but those 2. If Ferguson comes in and beats those 2, it's horrible. Those 2 should be ahead of the curve.
Right. You're right. Yeah.
So reason is Ravens do like to bring their rookies slowly. They're remember Humphries wasn't a starter the first year.
True.
Hayden Hurst, he got injured, but the last rookie first round that I remember being a starter day 1 was Stanley, and he started left tackle day 1. Other than that,
and he was a top 10 pick too. So
he was the 6th overall pick.
Yeah. So, if you get taken that high, you better be a starter. That's all.
Exactly. Yeah. And before that, mostly, but especially the Ravens, they do want to be good for their rookies. They do want to pace them. So, again, Chris Moore has every opportunity this year. If you guys see that Chris Moore, let's say he makes this team, and you see that he's not getting the snaps, that's a Chris Moore problem. That means that he's not excelling in practice. He's not looking good in practice. He's not showing his talent. It's not a coaching problem. The coach wants to win. It's not a vendetta. If anything, Harbaugh probably wants Chris Moore to excel more than Chris Moore wants to excel. Because Harbaugh likes to be loyal to his guys, and the new guys are just young, so he doesn't have that connection yet. So, I don't know. And somebody here says about Silas. Have you watched tape of Silas Stewart?
Me, I haven't. I have not. I have not seen a single snap of Silas Stewart. I'm sorry, but I have heard a lot of hype for this guy. So, maybe we'll see.
So, guys, the reason both him and I'm blanking on the guys. The other middle linebacker protects him.
Alaka.
There's a reason they're both undrafted. Their best scenario for both of them, special teams. None of them, I think, will be impactful on the middle linebacker side. None. I think it goes to the same argument. Board was those guys last year. Board has an advantage this year. He knows the system. He's 1 year in. He played in the NFL. He knows how to conduct how the NFL game plays. If one of those two guys beats boards, it looks bad on board. I'm not expecting that. Now, I'm not saying none of them are going to make the team. I'm just saying what I've seen on tape, nothing shows me like, oh, these dudes have to make the team. No, if they make it great, I think their biggest contribution will be special teams.
Yeah, no, I agree with you because undrafted guys, that's usually what they do. There was something else that I saw in the chat that was interesting. Two comments here actually. Wolfgang says, "What are your surprise cuts?" Asking us, and then that dope boy said, "I think Levine could be a surprise cut." And first of all, no. Levine is not getting cut. No way. I'll tell you why. Because he's expected to be this hybrid player. I think he's going to get a lot more snaps than he usually does just because he's going to be helping out our linebackers, I think. So, no, I don't see Levine getting cut, like, at all. Not at all. But going back to the surprise cut thing, is there anybody that, you might want to bring up, Sonny?
Well, first of all, let me concur with Levine. Levine does way more. Levine will be your third middle linebacker, especially on a passing down. He can cover. He can play a little bit of slot corner. He can also play safety. He's your dime package guy. So Levine is excellent, and his price point is not debatable. It's not, you won't cut Levine because of money. So price cut. Willie Henry will be a cut that I could expect if the other D-tag. If we get McCoy, I think Henry's gone. But even if we don't get McCoy, his injury history works against him. You can't count on the guy. So if you cannot count on the guy, then Zyler, Wormley, and maybe you keep McPhee and say you're going to be at the end 3-4 instead of keeping Henry. That would be one. I wouldn't be surprised if they cut more. I wouldn't. Yeah, because again, if for some reason Chris Moore, see, this year he has pressure, in my opinion. And preseason, this is a year for him to perform. If the other receivers overperform over him, if all things are equal, let's say they're performing the same, Lastly and Moore, who are you keeping?
I don't know.
So if for me, let's say both of them play exactly the same way, I'll keep Lastly. You have.
Well, I mean, but he shouldn't, right? Because Moore, like we've said, Moore's in his fourth year, so Moore should be way better, like miles better than Lastly. So
he should, and that's what I'm saying. But if they both play to the same level, you keep Lastly. You keep Boyd. So this is the problem. He needs to overperform over these guys because let's say Snead is a lock, right? And Boykins and Hollywood are a lock.
Yep.
Even if they're the fifth and sixth guy, they're locks. Okay, so those three are locks. If Moore, Lastly, Jaleel Scott, and I'm blanking on the other receiver. So Moore, Lastly, Jaleel Scott, Seth Roberts, and let's say Wesley. Wesley. Those five guys are equal. Completely equal, right?
Okay.
Who you keep?
I would keep the young guys for sure.
The reason is those guys you have it on the contract. Moore's a free agent after this year. So if those guys perform as the same as Moore, and also you brought Bether, I think it's how you pronounce his name.
Oh yeah, Justin Bethel or something. Yeah.
To play teams, right? So you might have depth in teams. I think Chris Moore again. He needs to have a good camp. He needs to have a good preseason. If not, I wouldn't be surprised if Moore's cut and Willie Henry's cut.
See, the thing about Chris Moore that I don't think he's going to get cut because Steve said earlier today that he said something about Chris Moore. He said that he thinks he's going to have a breakout year.
Yeah.
I think that's what he said. So, and also we've heard from Harbaugh that he says, "Oh, it's the time for Chris Moore." So I don't know. I don't think he's going to get cut. Even though if he does get outplayed, I don't know. I think they love him too much, man. Honestly.
I think they're saying that because they're expecting that. Like me and you are expecting none of these receivers to outplay Moore. They shouldn't.
Yeah. right?
My point is, if for some reason they're the same, there's no reason to keep Chris Moore. And then I
Yeah.
see Wolfgang saying Jalen Smith. I'm not even counting on him. Floyd is another guy that if he wants to make the team, he has to be miles ahead of the other guys because he's in a
Yeah,
1 year deal.
honestly, I don't even think about Michael Floyd. Honestly, that was just like a whatever signing to me. That's just a camp signing to me. So
So Samuel's bringing Jalen Smith at OTA. So with OTAs, we have very little information, right? So that means if you're not excelling, if you're either average or below average, nobody's gonna be talking about you.
yeah,
And if you haven't heard about Smith or Joe Horn, right, since they
true,
broke OTAs, that means neither of those guys are performing in OTAs. I mean, it's just
true.
fact. We'll see
Or
mandatory
Quincy.
or that none of those guys are probably performing. Now we're gonna see training camp. It's still early, Samuel. I know that's your boy. Still early, but the only guy that we're hearing is about Chris Moore, and like
Yeah.
we said, it's a hype train, and that's
Right.
fine. When we put Pats, if Chris Moore starts making plays against our secondary, that's good. That's good because our secondary is pretty legit. And then when we go to preseason, again, they're gonna make. I agree with you, noobs. Preseason game 1, Chris Moore's your starter. Preseason game 2, Chris Moore's your starter. 3 and 4, he will be your starter. So if he loses the job, it's on him.
Yeah, he needs. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Team, keep it clean in the house. Shout out to Ing Raven, man.
Yeah, what's up, Mike? Oh, so since Ing Raven's here, let me remind everybody. Saturday, 11 a.m.
That's
Flag
right.
football game. Team keep it clean. Flag football game. I'm gonna be there. Obviously, Ing Raven's gonna be there. He's running the show. But hey, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna trash talk, but it's all in fun games. Nothing to take serious, guys. Second, there's gonna be a pickup of donations for homeless people. So bring good garments, so t-shirt, sweatshirt, pants, anything in good condition. Please bring it. There's gonna be a collection for the homeless. So the game itself is free. Food wise, as of right now, just bring your own food, bring your own snacks. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. So if you're near the area, go check it out. It's gonna be in Glen Burnie. I don't know the address. It's Heritage Cross in Glen Burnie. The exact address I don't know, but Team Keep It Clean has it in his Twitter, Instagram. I'll tweet the promo soon again. I had tweeted it before, but come join us. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I could make it out there, guys, but unfortunately, that's on the other side of the country for me. So, and I don't really have the funds to be making a trip over there to Baltimore. So, unfortunately, I won't be able to be the Haloti Nada of Team Keep It Clean. But
and for all you guys, go ahead,
yeah.
go ahead, noobs.
No, I was just gonna say, hopefully next time I could make it out there. But yeah.
So, I'm gonna try to stream live through Instagram some of the plays.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Because I'm not expecting to play much. I have a bad knee, so I might play a little bit here and there. But I don't. God knows this year I want to go without surgery. So, I'm gonna be there, and like I said, I'm gonna probably push a lot of stuff through Instagram. So if you haven't followed me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me. I'm gonna push that to Twitter too. So. Anyway, it's gonna be fun. So, noobs, as we're here a little bit over an hour now.
Yep.
Thoughts on overall expectations. Anybody that we haven't talked about yet that you're thinking you're hoping to see big things from him, or anybody that people are over talking about. I'm glad that we took down a notch, and Samuel, I'm sorry to say this, but I'm glad we took down a notch the hype with Jalen Smith. By now, everybody took down expectations. Jalen Smith this year's ceiling is making the practice squad. If he can make the practice squad, that's good for him.
Yeah.
But he has an uphill battle, like Joel Horn's son. He has enough because I mean they're like the ninth or 10th receiver right now, and if we're keeping 6, we might keep 2 in the practice squad. But anyway,
Right.
who you have that might be a breakout guy or you're expecting that they're gonna be good in camp?
Yeah, well, I would love to see some things from Kenny Young, like somebody brought up. Eldrick Stone brought that up. I would absolutely love to see Kenny Young because earlier on last year, he showed some flashes, man. He was just all over the field. And not only was he all over the field, he was making tackles, bro. And that's what I love to see. I love to see that because I think that was one of his knocks that I saw before we drafted him was that he's good in coverage, but the tackling it was a little bit shaky. But the few times that he was on the field when he got the snaps, he was laying the wood, man. He was making tackles. He was wrapping up. Just I would love to see a big breakout year from Kenny Young.
I love Kenny.
Um, yeah, I'm expecting big things from him for sure. Just the offense as a whole, man. I really want to see everybody live up to expectations, man. Hollywood Brown, expectations are really big for him, I think. A lot of Ravens fans, you guys know, if you guys have been following the podcast for a while, you guys know before we drafted him, we were not the biggest fans of Hollywood Brown. Both me and Sonny were not. However, we are fans of him now because he is a Raven, of course, so we're going to cheer for him.
We embrace
Yes, we embrace him. We accept him and embrace him. But I think his expectations are super high, man. I think a bunch of Ravens fans are just expecting him to be the next Antonio Brown, which I don't expect him to be. I think we need to kind of lower our expectations a little bit. I do think he'll have some good games here and there, but I don't know. I just don't think he's going to be, in the discussion for offensive rookie of the year, which is what a lot of Ravens fans seem to make it seem like. I think so. But I hope he proves me wrong. I hope he just balls out and has like 1,600 yards and just totally blows the roof off the place. I would absolutely love that. But Hollywood is definitely a guy for sure. Just like I said, the offense as a whole, I really want to see the offensive line, how they're going to work together. Hayden Hurst is another guy for sure. I think that it's his prove it year because he's already 26, so he's getting up there, man. He's an old rookie. He was an old rookie, so this is the year. He's healthy, right? So this is the year to prove it, man, that you were worth a first round pick. So yeah, I'm just gonna say the offense as a whole, of course, plenty of players on the defense, all of the younger guys, the pass rushers. I would love to see a big year from Tyus Bowser. There's so many exciting players that I'm excited to watch. I actually can't wait for the preseason. Of course, the regular season, definitely, but I can't wait to watch some of the young guys there the preseason.
So I will say, for me, I completely agree with what you're saying with Hollywood Brown because people need to remember Antonio Brown wasn't Antonio Brown in year 1.
True.
And Hollywood needs to bulk up a little bit. Hollywood needs to work on a couple of things. Plus, he needs to get healthy. That being said, everybody or most of the players that are coming year 2 and year 3 are the ones that I'm really like. I want to see what Seiler can do. I was excited for him last year, although I knew he wasn't gonna do much because rookie 7th round pick.
Right.
I'm excited for Wormley. Wormley is going to year 3. This is the year that he needs to start stepping up.
Yep.
Hayden Hurst, as you said, Mark Andrews. The reason I'm excited for Mark Andrews, I think Mark Andrews, all said and done, at the end of this year, he will be a top 3 tight end.
Wow.
We don't have Gronk to worry about that anymore. So
True.
I think it will be Kelsey, and he will be there with Kelsey in the conversation. I think Kelsey will still have better numbers, especially we don't know what Hill's going to be up.
Yeah.
So my homeboy is gonna rely a lot on her Kelsey.
Absolutely.
But, I'm expecting a big year from Andrews. Hayden Hurst, I'm expecting him to be healthy and be good. Not as good as Andrews, but really good. And it would be great. So now you have 2 tight ends that can be balling out. That's gonna help the receiver so much.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited to see Snead. We keep forgetting Snead is also going to be in a contract year. So he was
True.
feisty last year. I love Snead, so I want to see what how he's gonna play.
Yeah.
Other players that I'm also looking from the rookie side, I will say obviously the receivers, but Jalen Hill. I want to see his speed and display.
Didn't he get cut? Jalen Hill?
No, I'm sorry, not Hill, the running back.
Oh, Justice Hill.
Justice Hill.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, you're talking Jalen Hill.
No,
He's gone, man.
No. Justice Hill. I want to see
Yeah.
his speed on the field.
Right.
Right, because he's a change a pace for the running back side. I want to see how Ingram, because you guys know I wasn't a big fan of that signing. Now, I
Yep.
love the guy's leadership, but I didn't thought that we was necessarily a need. But I want to see how he fits Earl Thomas. Can't wait to see
yeah.
Mr. Earl Thomas on the field. And, again, another second-year guy that you mentioned, Kenny Young. Kenny
Yep.
Young was one of my favorite players that we drafted last year. I was super hyped. I wanted him to start over Peanut, and he took the starting role. And then he faded, like, by week 10-ish, he started fading out. So I don't know if the season got too long for him, but I'm excited for Kenny Young. Can't wait to see him play and ball out. And same thing for Peanut, right? I think this defense, in my opinion, it doesn't have any holes. Their biggest hole is depth on middle linebacker. Meaning if one of them goes out, Peanut or Kenny Young, the next guy is a big drop.
Yeah.
The rest of this defense, dude, I'm excited. I'm stacked. And on the offensive side, I want to see Ben Powers. I want to see Mr. Ben Powers because I want him to take that left guard position.
Yeah, I would love if Ben Powers could step up this year because we definitely have a need there at left guard. We cannot. I don't want to see James Worst take any more snaps anywhere. I don't care where it is. I don't want to see him on the line. I'm done with him. I'm completely finished with him. Alex Lewis, I mean, just always hurt, man, and he hasn't been as good as he was when he even is on the field. So if Ben Powers can somehow step up and take that starting job, I would love that. If not, you still have guys like Bradley Bozeman, who I wouldn't mind seeing starting. So, offensive line is another one for sure to look out for.
I want to see. I want to see in the preseason rotation of Bozeman and Skura, and hopefully Bozeman taking that, taking the starting job position. But this team, I'm always hyped for Ravens, and it might be because my Orioles are bad. It might be because my Wizards were bad this year. But I feel like extra hyped. I don't know about you guys, but I'm
absolutely
extra hyped. So, and Coach, Skura is not completely trash as I like to say, but he's not good either. He's adequate. I think the word we're looking, he is meh.
Yeah,
and I'm
there you go.
hoping Bozeman can be more than meh and take that position. Also, if Bozeman takes the position over Skura, that works well because Skura is a free agent after this year. Bozeman, you still have 3 more years of him.
True.
And I agree with Coach. Also said that Powers will be the starter by the end of the year, and I don't disagree. That's what happened with Zeus. But I want him to be the starter on week 1.
Oh, wow. I would love that. I don't know if it'll happen, but yeah, I mean, hopefully he just completely is a wall in the preseason. I would love that.
But also I'll be fine if Alex Lewis plays well, takes the job.
Stays healthy.
He'll get injured at some point in the year, and then, Powers takes the position.
Yeah, that's best case scenario for sure.
Okay, guys, so we're gonna let me see if we have any. I don't know if you see any questions, Noobo, but as we're wrapping down, anything you see in the chat?
Not really. I mean, they're just kind of following along. But what I will say, guys, is that I appreciate all of you for joining us. Of course, if you're not subscribed to Sonny, you guys make sure you subscribe to Sonny. He does all this Ravens stuff and just sports in general, Orioles, Wizards. You guys already know what it is. Our links are, of course, below our faces. Follow all those. And just shout out to you guys, man. I appreciate you guys. I really do. Content is coming, man, from both of us. I think I can speak for both of us on that. The season is getting closer now, and I'm really excited. I am very excited. it's the first time in a long time that we actually have a lot to be excited about, because we're actually going to have both sides of the ball be exciting. And before, we couldn't really say that with our offense. So I'm just so excited for it, man. I can't wait. I really can't.
I don't think you're gonna be bored at any point with this offense. I mean,
Absolutely.
and it's a different offense. And let me finish with Disable Dude 78
Hmm.
said that he thinks Boykins will make a much bigger impact than Hollywood his first year. Will have a much bigger impact after his rookie season, and so Lamar develops more as a passer. It all depends. Disable. I think we'll see how quickly Hollywood can be healthy. But not only that, I think Boykin has the opportunity being a big frame guy. But Boykin's, oh, I mean, we had to remember Boykins a third round pick for a reason.
Yeah.
He was fast. He didn't play as fast, right? He's a big body receiver, but sometimes he's not as physical as he should be.
Right.
He doesn't run the cleanest route, and I was watching an interview. He did say that in Notre Dame, they weren't expecting him to run a lot of routes. He basically had like two or three, and then he was working on it. That's fine, but those are the things that he needs to clean. So he also has some, gaps. Now the tall frame helps him because Lamar can just throw it up there. And then what I'm expecting from Boykins, not necessarily a lot of yardage between the 20s, but in the red zone to be an
Yeah.
impact.
Sure. Absolutely. So.
Let me see, and then here says Carson, we'll keep it going. Good show. Oh, we appreciate it, and just to echo the sentiment for Noobo, we do this because we love it. We started doing the NF podcast. Either most of the time in Joe Noobo's channel. I asked Noobs for this one today because I wanted to try some stuff on the live stream, and hopefully we didn't have a lot of echo and stuff because I've been toying with a couple things, but we enjoy this every week, and both of us also do our own content, but we have fun coming together, and with you guys
Yep.
joining us. So
Absolutely.
we appreciate you guys, and in the off season, yeah, it's harder to create content obviously with the Ravens not playing,
Yeah.
but we have more stuff coming up, both of us. So stay tuned, and thanks for joining us as we're gonna be wrapping this show up. We appreciate it. We were almost an hour and a half, so this hour and a half went quick. So I
Yep.
appreciate everybody joining. Anything else, Snoop, before we go?
No, just, I mean, same thing, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And, make sure you follow all the links below us. And we'll see you next week for another podcast.
Thank you,
Hopefully.
guys. Peace out. See you next
Later,
time.
guys. Thank you so much.